All right, let's talk about something I know a lot of you have felt. You spend hours, maybe even days, pouring everything you have into a law essay, and the mark you get back, it just doesn't match the effort. Sound familiar? Well, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to break down step by step how to write a UK law essay that actually impresses your markers and gets you those top grades.
So what is it about law essays? Why are they so ridiculously hard? It's a question pretty much every law student asks themselves at some point. And here's the thing. It's not just about knowing the law. It's about a very specific type of analysis, a certain structure that they're looking for. And when no one really explains that clearly, it can be, well, it's just incredibly frustrating.
And that is the core problem, right? You put in the hours, you do all the reading, but the grade that comes back, it's a 2.2, or maybe a low 2.1. It honestly feels like you're missing some secret piece of the puzzle. But don't worry. Today, we're going to take all that frustration and turn it into a super clear, actionable plan.
Okay, let's get into it. First up, laying the foundation. And this is all about what you do before you even think about writing a single word. A huge mistake I see people make is just diving straight into writing. But honestly, the best essays, the first-class ones, are won or lost right here, in the prep stage. First things first, you have to break down the question itself. I mean, really break it down. Grab a highlighter and underline those key command words. Words like critically evaluate are a world away from discuss. Next, you've got to figure out what kind of essay you're writing. Is it a classic doctrinal essay, all about legal rules? A problem question, where you apply law to a made-up story? Or a theoretical one, where you're digging into the why behind the law? And then, the most important step of all, write a one-sentence thesis. Seriously, just one line. This sentence is your North Star. Everything, and I mean everything, you write from now on has one job: to prove that sentence true.
Okay, let's talk research. Stop the endless, aimless Googling. Your focus needs to be on primary sources. We're talking cases and statutes. And here's a pro tip. Use a simple table like the one you see here to keep yourself organized. For every single case you find, jot down the key legal principle. And then, this is crucial, write down exactly how it helps your argument. Remember, this is all about quality over quantity. One case that you've analyzed brilliantly is worth way more than 10 cases you've just listed.
So, we've got our foundation sorted. Now it's time to actually build the essay. And for that, we have a secret weapon, the IRAC method. You've probably heard of it: issue, rule, application, and conclusion. Look, this isn't just some vague suggestion. This is the blueprint. It's how you build a perfect, logical, and totally persuasive paragraph every single time. All right, first up, the I stands for issue. This is super simple. You start every single paragraph by stating the specific legal question you're about to answer in that paragraph. Something like, the key issue here is whether the defendant owed a duty of care. Boom, just like that. It tells your reader exactly what's coming. No messing around, straight to the point. Next up is R for rule. So, you've just told us the issue. Now you state the legal rule that applies to it. This is where you pull in that smart research you did. You cite the big case or the key statute that's relevant. For example, the governing principle for duty of care was famously established in Donahue v. Stevenson. Easy. Now for A, application or analysis. Pay attention, because this is where you earn the big marks. This is the heart of the essay. You're not just summarizing the law here. No way. You are applying that rule to the facts, and most importantly, you're analyzing it. You should be asking yourself, so what? Why does this rule matter? What are its problems? This is where you show off your brain and your legal reasoning skill.
And finally, we have C for conclusion. To finish off the paragraph, you just write a little mini conclusion. A single sentence is often enough. It needs to do two things. One, answer the issue you started with, and two, this is super important, it has to link back to your main one-sentence thesis for the whole essay. It just ties everything together in a neat little bow and makes your argument feel so solid.
You know, this is such a brilliant way to think about it. If you treat every single paragraph like its own little mini essay with its own IRAC structure, your entire essay will just naturally become incredibly clear, logical, and really, really powerful. It is probably the best single tip for structuring your legal writing. Period. Okay, so our structure is locked in. That's going to get you a good grade, a solid 2.1 for sure. But we're not aiming for good, right? We're aiming for a first. So how do we level up? Well, it's all about developing a critical edge. This is where we move from just describing what the law is to analyzing it. Here's the absolute biggest difference between an average essay and a top-class one. The average essay just summarizes the law. It says, this is the rule.
A first-class essay, on the other hand, critically analyzes it. It asks questions. It points out when judges disagree. It even brings up counterarguments to its own points. And that doesn't make your argument weaker, it makes it stronger, because it shows you've really thought everything through. Your actual writing style matters a ton too. Think of it like a toolkit for making your analysis shine. First, be concise. Cut out the waffle. Tutors can spot padding a mile away. Second, use the active voice. Instead of "it was held by the court," say "the court held." It's so much more direct. Third, analyze, don't just quote. Long quotes are a waste of space. Paraphrase the point and then explain why it matters. And finally, use signpost words, like however, furthermore, consequently. They act like a GPS for your reader, guiding them smoothly through your argument.
Okay, we're almost there. You've done the hard work, the research, the IRAC structure, the critical analysis. The last step is all about the presentation, framing your masterpiece with a great intro and conclusion, and then giving it that final professional polish. I love this analogy. Think of your introduction as the map. You're handing it to the reader and saying, okay, here's where we're going, and here's the exact path we're going to take to get there. Your conclusion? That's the destination. It's where you plant your flag, summarize the key sites you saw along the way, and prove, without a doubt, that you've answered the original question.
And last but absolutely not least, the final polish. Please do not skip this step. Read your essay out loud. It feels weird, I know, but it is the best way to catch awkward sentences. Triple-check your citations. Go through every paragraph one last time and ask, does this help answer the question? Get rid of all the fluff. A clean, error-free essay just screams professionalism, and believe me, your markers notice.
So, the next time you're about to hit submit, just stop and ask yourself one final question. Is this essay just a list of cases, or is it a compelling story about legal reasoning? Because that, right there, is the real difference between a good essay and a great one.